The surge continues. Yesterday, the Department of Health logged its second highest new COVID-19 cases so far since the start of the pandemic. But the worst may not be over. The Department of Health says new daily infections may hit as high as 43,000 by year end. Japan Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga announces plans to resign after failing to control the country's coronavirus surge. Healthcare workers in Afghanistan are appealing for continued international support after the World Bank suspended aid to the nation. And in some light news, South Korean superstar Park Joon is confirmed to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. The Department of Health warns that daily COVID-19 cases could reach up to 43,000 by the end of September. With this, experts say that the plan to implement granular lockdowns instead of widespread lockdowns could be premature. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the story.
For weeks, health officials warned the public that we haven't seen the worst of COVID-19 just yet. Just before the weekend, the Department of Health revealed just how bad it could get. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres said the daily cases in Metro Manila alone could be a minimum of 17,000 to more than 40,000 before the end of the month.
Range natin na kanina that can go as high as 150 plus thousand, iyan yung total active cases.
The day before, DOH Epidemiology Bureau Chief Dr. Alathea de Guzman gave an average daily figure that was somewhere in between.
The average na daily cases based on that range will be around 30,000 cases per day. That's per NCR alone.
The capital region currently has 41,449 active cases and a daily average of less than 5,000, a number that's already putting our hospitals at high risk. The experts believe the ongoing surge is largely driven by the hyper-contagious Delta variant, which has been confirmed in 16 out of the country's 17 regions. To stem the tide, authorities are looking at implementing granular or targeted lockdowns instead of regional and provincial lockdowns. But the Octa Research Group is warning against the apparent loosening of restrictions. The group says what we need now is a 2-week extension of the MECQ beyond September 7.
It will create a serious setback if we're going to scale down from MECQ at the moment.
In the last couple of days, NCR has seen a steady decrease in its reproduction number, which is now down to 1.39. Professor Rai said, we only see a downward trend in cases once the number goes below 1.
Experimenting with a localized lockdown in a complex terrain such as Metro Manila might be problematic. We are now trying to sustain a downward trend. We will not be able to sustain that if we open up prematurely.
I'm Jacob Lazaro and we are One News.
The health department logged over 20,300 COVID-19 cases yesterday, the second highest single-day tally since the onset of the pandemic. This pushed the total cases to 2,040,000, some 158,000 of which are still active. 193 patients succumbed to the disease on Friday, bringing the death toll to 33,800. While around 7,700 people have recovered, pushing the total to over 1.8 million. Now, out of the 67,700 tests conducted, 27.4% yielded positive results. Now, in other news, President Duterte is asking the Commission on Audit asking COA to audit, the Philippine Red Cross, a non-government agency. This comes after the accused PRC chairman and Senator Richard Gordon of using the organization's funds for his election campaign. Maricel Halili has the story.
The tirades between President Duterte and Senator Richard Gordon is far from over. Last night, Duterte accused Gordon of using the Philippine Red Cross as his milking cow to back his electoral campaigns. He advised Gordon to step down from his position as chairman to give others a chance to lead the organization.
Bumitaw ka na and give others a chance at para mahinto na yung ginagawa mong kalokohan.
Duterte also brought up alleged questionable deals, hounding the PRC, including an astronomical rate of COVID-19 testing last year. He alleged that it also did not honor discounts for senior citizens and persons with disability. In the end, he called on the Commission on Audit to scrutinize the PRC for other possible anomalies.
The Executive Department will demand that we furnish a copies of your audit taken by COA and COA to give us the copy so that we can review also what you have audited at tingnan ba namin kung tama o hindi.
But for Gordon, this is just a distraction from the president. Gordon also clarified that he is just doing his job and he is not even sure if he's running in 2022.
Ang pakiusap ko lang, Mr. President, is huwag mo ko awayan para hindi kami makapag-focus doon sa dapat namin paghandaan at para mahuli natin yung talagang nangungulimbat.
Meanwhile, for COA's part, auditing the PRC is not part of their mandate.
We do not have the jurisdiction to audit the organization, yung Philippine National Red Cross. The only thing we can audit are payments made by PhilHealth to the Red Cross.
Article 9 of the Philippine Constitution states that COA has the power to examine the accounts of government agencies. This means that they can audit a non-government entity should it receive subsidy from the government. But according to a Supreme Court bank ruling in 2009, the PRC does not have government assets and does not receive appropriations from the Congress. The same Supreme Court decision also stated that the PRC cannot be owned or controlled by the government. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, Philippine Airlines filing of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the United States looks good to go, according to travel analytics data company Cirium. In a report by Flight Global, Cirium said PAL has found a financing alternative after the original bank pulled out. Cirium cited sources saying another local bank has agreed to provide the $75 million in debtor-in-possession financing. The flag carrier earlier said it would need 24.2 billion pesos in funds from a major stockholder. PAL is embarking on a financial restructuring plan to ensure the airline's business continuity. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Health Department is once again under probe, this time because of its purchase of overpriced ambulance units. Men Los Baños with the details.
From overpriced face masks and face shields to overpriced ambulances. As per Senator Ping Lacson, the Health Department purchased ambulances with automated external defibrillators at 2.6 million pesos each, a million peso more expensive compared to what LGUs purchased. Lacson can't help but be disappointed, especially since he backed the budget increase for the DOH's Health Facilities Enhancement Program, which purchased the vehicles. But the DOH said the ambulances in question went through a bidding process.
This type 1 ambulances, ito po yung kompleto ang mga equipment sa loob nito dahil ginagamit po siya for patient transport between and among our hospitals, specifically those who are critically ill.
Secretary Francisco Duque said he's already having the matter investigated. As for the overpriced masks and shields, vaccine czar Carlito Galvez said President Rodrigo Duterte had ordered them to expedite procurement. This prompted them to seek the Chinese embassy's help, but Senator Franklin Drilon did not buy it.
Ako nagtataka. Sinabi nila na talagang naghanap sila ng supply, pati na Chinese embassy ambassador linapitan nila. Ngunit, kaya ang ibig sabihin, pwede sigurong government-to-government transaction ito. Bakit pag ginamit ang thermally?
Recall that new firm Pharmaly bagged billions of contracts for pandemic supplies despite having a small capital. On top of that, Pharmaly incorporators have supposedly non-existent addresses. Senator Risa Ontiveros had also bared that Pharmaly bosses are wanted in Taiwan for financial crimes. But the palace still defended the process of awarding the contract to Pharmaly.
Ang nagbid po yung korporasyon. So hindi naman po kailangan busisiin talaga yung personalidad na sa likod ng korporasyon.
President Rodrigo Duterte also justified the billions of pesos worth of procurement, claiming no taxpayers' money was wasted.
Walang bayad until the delivered, inspected and delivered.
Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Protocols of purchases made by.
Meanwhile, here are the biggest stories we're following across the world. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga won't be seeking re-election, effectively ending his tenure this month. Suga says he would rather focus on handling the country's pandemic response instead on focusing on re-election. This decision comes as his ratings dipped to an all-time low over his administration's handling of the pandemic. North Korea has rejected around 3 million doses of Chinese COVID-19 vaccines, suggesting that the jabs should be given to countries in greater need. UNICEF said the almost 3 million Sinovac jabs offered by the COVAX facility to North Korea may be reallocated to severely affected countries. Despite this, Pyongyang said they would continue to communicate with COVAX to receive vaccines in the coming months. In July, reports said North Korea has earlier rejected shipments of AstraZeneca vaccines due to its side effects. And Afghan healthcare workers are appealing for continued assistance from the international community after the World Bank suspended aid as the Taliban seized control. Let's watch this Bloomberg quick take.
سیستم صحت را سیاسی نسازن و کمک‌های خود از سیستم صحت قطع نکنن، به خاطر که در غیر از او ما شاهد با وجود از که میلیون ها مردم افغانستان محروم شدن از خدمات صحی، همچنان مادرها را از دست خود دادیم و این یک چیزی است که سخت نگران کننده برای همگی ما شما هست و امیدوار هستم که جهان صدای ما را بشنوه و توجه کنه به قسمت صحت مردم افغانستان و خصوصا به زنان افغانستان.
انجمن قابله های افغانستان هستند، یعنی او
South Korean star Park Seo-joon will soon be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. According to his agency, the actor has left South Korea to film a Marvel movie. They added that more details about the project will be made public at a later date. Park Seo-joon will star in the upcoming Marvel or Captain Marvel sequel, The Marvels, but his role is still unknown. He will be the third Korean actor to join the MCU following Claudia Kim from an Avengers film and Ma Dong-seok from Eternals. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 10 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register now for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.